Being broke. We've all been there. Let me know, what is your definition of being broke? We're going to check out a segment on the Dave Ramsey show and see what Dave's definition of being broke is. Let's check it out.
Yeah, she says, I listen daily and hear the phrase, don't listen to broke people quite often. What is the Ramsey definition of broke, so we know who in our circles not to listen to? I love this question. Well, broke people, for me, a broke person is somebody who is not financially responsible. And you see that as the fruit in their lives, right? They may have cars in their driveway. They may have the house that's next to yours and they're your neighbor, but you get the sense that they're not managing their money properly. And sometimes I will say, Dave, it's hard to know because unless you know this person, on that financial level, you may not know how they handle their money. But if you see them pull out a credit card when it's time to pay for dinner, if you see that their houses, if you have an idea of where they work and where they earn and you're taking a look at their houses and their cars, there's certain little indicators that you're going, I wonder how they're managing their money. Now, on a personal level, when I think about broke, I think about paycheck to paycheck. And it's that person where your money's coming in and it's going out. You don't know what you're spending it on. You're not on a budget. And at the end of the day, because of that, you're not able to do the things that cause you to be a financially responsible person. You're not savings. You don't have savings. You're not investing for retirement. You are carrying debt. You're still getting into debt, right? All of those things that we teach you to do, you're not setting your family up and your children up long-term for college and things like that. So that's kind of what I would place it in as far as what I would consider a person being broke, or trying to gauge if a person is somebody that you don't want to take advice from.
I would like to say that my definition of being broke is a bit different than what Jade is describing. To me, my definition of being broke is not being able to get your necessities, get the things you want, things like that, just not having it. Just you ain't got it. I ain't got it. I'm broke. I don't have the money to get it. I can't go pull from any type of resource to get it. I can't use a credit card to get it. I'm just flat out broke. Zero. Big fat zero. That is my definition of being broke. You just don't have it. Don't have it. You have to borrow to get your needs. You just don't have it. That's being broke. What she's describing, having to go out to eat, pulling out credit cards, acting like you just look like you have money, but you don't really know how to use your money correctly. That's just being bad with money. To me, that's what that is. That's being bad with money. And I think there's a big difference in being broke and being bad with money. Someone that is broke, might be starving, might just can't pay for, might be deprived on anything that they really need. Their living conditions may be jacked up. She's describing people that actually have money, but just aren't as good with money. I wouldn't say that's a broke person. That's just my take. But let's see what Dave has to say.
Wealth is not income. Wealth is not appearance. So if you're bling bling, you got a purse that costs more than most people's kids, you are driving cars that don't fit the neighborhood, meaning they're too nice. You got two $60,000 cars sitting in front of a $400,000 house. You're broke. And if all your vacations are so nice they're on your Facebook page, you're living. You're trying to put on the dog, as we say in Tennessee. You're trying to look like you're something you're not. That is not the definition of wealth. Tom Stanley, who wrote the book Millionaire Next Door, before he passed away, he wrote another book called Stop Acting Rich. Broke people act rich and aren't.
Yeah, they're trying too hard.
I hesitate to do this because I got a sweet young man sitting here in the lobby with a great cowboy hat on. But in Texas, they say, big hat, no cattle. That's broke, okay? A lot of talk, no money. A lot of putting on the airs, no money. So wealth, by definition, is net worth. What you own minus what you owe is your net worth. And so if you make $2 million a year and you have nothing in net worth, you're broke. You spend all of it. That's what it amounts to. And so it's not income, and it's not what people, it's not stuff that you show on Instagram. And here's the thing. Most people that aren't broke don't give a crap what you think. Broke people care deeply about what you think. And so that comes into, because that's why broke people are always giving you advice, because they're afraid that you're going to outpace them because you're doing smart things.
That's a big indicator right there. The people who are constantly yapping.
Yep. They got a lot of opinions about other people's stuff, and they got no stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's a big
thing.
indicator.
Yeah. And so, your typical millionaire, we interview them on the Millionaire, Baby Steps Millionaires. What's the most expensive pair of blue jeans you ever bought? $50, $100.
Mm-hmm.
And, nobody excited about that in the blue jean world.
I don't know.
That's big blue jeans money.
Can I challenge the blue jeans?
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that's an indication of broke.
On, Dave.
I'm just saying the
me.
typical millionaire, when we interview them, and then we say, what did your wife spend? Maybe $100. Okay. But still, they just they're not majoring in appearances. And broke people generally major in appearances. They try to look like they are something they aren't. And then they have opinions about your money that are unsolicited. You didn't even ask, but they got a lot to say about it. And it's sometimes in your family. And here's the other thing. Here's what broke people are. Most people, that's broke people. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's 8 out of 10 houses on your street are spending everything they make to stay afloat.
Wow.
So what's a broke person? Most people. That's broke people. Most people. When you pull up a stoplight and 5 nice cars sitting around you, you're looking at 5 car payments. You're not looking at a millionaire that rolled up there. He's sitting in a $56,000 pickup truck with a dadgum $854 payment on it. But by God, I got me a truck. I work hard. I deserve what? You deserve what? A payment?
A payment.
Give me a break, dude. Seriously. And so that's our definition of broke people would be, of wealthy people would be net worth. And you don't get net worth by only earning an income, and you don't typically get net worth by giving a rip what other people think. And so putting your vacations on Facebook, putting your purse, your bling, your, I don't know, whatever it is that you think other people might think and be impressed with you.
Yeah. Your
car, for sure, your stupid car. This is the country where cars, United States of America, cars are a status symbol.
100%. When I walk through my neighborhood, when I see cars, I just see the payment amount. That's all I see.
Have you seen the thing that the guy did? It's old, but you are your car, and he goes like, okay, this person is a Subaru, and this person is it's hilarious because you're like making a statement about who you are. I mean,
that is true.
So I'm not sure what I am. I'm an old Corvette, I guess, but there you go. But or I might be a Raptor, but somewhere in there. But because that's two of my cars. But anyway, but it's the cars are.
You used to be a Jaguar.
I used to be a Jaguar.
I'm not gonna do it.
That's it. That's it. Is that like a broke cougar? Is that what a Jaguar is?
I think so.
A male broke cougar is a Jaguar.
When I go by apartment complexes and I see,
they're sitting in a stinking apartment complex and there's a $40,000 car sitting out there.
I'm like, this isn't.
That is definitely broke people.
Yeah,
100%. That's broke people. Okay, so that's what you're talking about. And I can't tell if this question's a little bit facetious or not, but we're giving you a serious answer anyway. Mm-hmm. So the answer is don't listen to most people.
Yeah.
Because most people are broke.
Most people don't know.
And don't listen to people who are putting on images of wealth because they probably don't have any. And really, you get to know someone well enough, you actually know what their net worth is. You go, this guy's 35 years old, he's got a $2 million net worth. Okay, that's a guy you can listen to.
Yeah, and when you line that up, that person is not spending the way you think that a quote rich person should spend.
No.
They're just not.
They don't.
There's a reality to it where it's like, hey, this money is in investments. You're just living a normal life.
Yep.
You know?
Very weird. It's an interesting discussion, though.
It is.
But yeah, if broke people are making fun of your financial plan, you are on track. That's one of the things we always say is a great joke line.
Yeah.
And it's like if fat people are making fun of your diet, then you're right on track. It's the same deal, right? And so if you've been divorced 62 times, I hope this next marriage works for you, but I don't want to read your book on marriage. You ain't got this figured out, Bubba. And so that's the deal. And that's what we're looking at. It's proof text in the marketplace. As in business, we would call it best practices.
Right.
I want to follow someone that has a series of habits that has caused them to win in this particular area of my life I'm concerned about. So if you want to be married and have a great marriage, find somebody been married 67 years and find out why she didn't kill him. It's a good thing, man. You need to know these things. It's smart.
Okay, so that was Dave Ramsey's take on being broke. And I can understand that they are on the show and they probably know a complete different class of people than I know, right? He's talking about how people are out here, trying to look the part. And let's not forget that he said 78% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So the majority of people are broke. I can understand that, if you have a mortgage, if you have student debt, any of that, you can easily have a negative net. You can easily have a negative net worth. So I definitely can understand that. But I still would stand on there's a difference between being broke and bad with money. But I do think it's sound advice that you shouldn't listen to broke people. You shouldn't listen to people that are bad with money. If you can see someone is bad with money, if you are watching this channel or you're into finance, you know what bad habits are. Always using credit cards, always in debt, not being able to buy the things that are necessities. You can tell when someone is bad with money. And you should always look up for advice, right? You should always look up for advice. Don't get advice from people that you can clearly see aren't where you want to be. I think that was sound advice from Dave Ramsey. And like always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.